The visit on the metal table. Worked as a nurse on the night shift at the hospital. It was a job that, although exhausting, filled me with satisfaction. However, there are certain things one cannot forget no matter how much time passes. It was a cold and silent dawn. I was assigned to take some urgent documents to the on-duty coroner, Dr. Rojas, who was in the morgue, located in the hospital's basement. I took the elevator down, feeling that usual chill that runs down your spine when you think about what's on that floor. When I arrived, I pushed open the heavy metal door and poked my head in. The room was illuminated by that cold white light that bathes everything in a ghostly hue. And there, sitting on the metal table, I saw an elderly woman. She was wearing a simple dress with faded flowers and her hands were folded in her lap. Her gray hair was tied back in a bun and she was staring at the wall motionless. The doctor must have a visitor at this hour. I thought uncomfortably. I didn't want to interrupt. I left the papers on a side table near the door and quietly retreated, feeling an instant relief as I left. In the hallway, I ran into Dr. Rojas coming from the break room with a cup of coffee in his hand. "Doctor," I said, "I left the reports on the table. Your visitor is waiting inside." He stopped, frowned, and looked at me strangely. "Visitor? What do you mean?" "No one's here at this hour." A cold pang ran through my stomach. "The old woman," I insisted, pointing toward the door. "The elderly lady sitting at the metal table. She's wearing a floral dress." Dr. Rojas's expression changed completely. His face turned pale and serious. "Nurse," he said in a low, gravelly voice. "The only elderly woman in that room is on the autopsy table. She arrived an hour ago. She died of cardiac arrest at home. They found her sitting in her chair just as you describe." His words echoed in my mind like a hammer blow. "Sitting in her chair just as you describe." I felt the floor give way beneath my feet. A buzzing sound filled my ears and the hallway began to spin. My legs buckled and I fell to the floor, barely aware of the doctor's voice calling someone on his radio. I woke up in a bed in the same hospital, diagnosed with nervous shock. I spent a week on sick leave, but nothing was the same. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the old woman sitting on that table, in her floral dress, staring at the wall. I went back to work, but I couldn't bear it. One night, going down to the pharmacy depot, I swore I saw a figure sitting at the end of the hall. It was her. She smiled at me. The next day, I handed in my resignation. Now I work in a day clinic, far from basements and early mornings. But still, sometimes when I see an elderly woman in a floral dress, I shudder and remember that silent visit on the metal table, awaiting an autopsy that, for her, was perhaps never the end. Thank you for staying until the end. Subscribe and share blessings.